Hey guys, long time no see. It has been a while since I made my last video. I was looking at my channel content and it seems the last video I was made was on May 21st and it's like close to now 3 months since I could made another video. I have been just super busy in my new job and that was the reason I could not create content. That said, I really want to complete this series so that if you're an automation engineer and you want to have a good solid production grade framework for creating any kind of automation framework for like API, mobile, UI, whatever, this framework should help you uh, get that get that base framework. I was looking into the content. It seems the last few important topics that I covered was about adding parallel capabilities to our framework, adding some very basic continuous integration GitHub Actions workflows, adding branch protection rules, and then adding logging to our framework. The next important topic which I really want to cover is about adding configuration to our framework because, well, sooner or later, when you're going to work in a project, you would want your framework to run test for different test environments, like for develop environment, for staging environment, for localhost environment, and you don't would not want to write, multiple tests for each environment. That said, before I cover that important topic, there's something else which I want to cover first in this particular video, and that is about something called adding badges to your project. What are badges? If I give an example, badges gives you like more meta information about your project. So for example, if I go to this project at this moment, well, we have a good readme file which tells about the project. But if you want to get more information like about the project, like how many contributors are there, what happened to the last build, when was the last commit done, a bunch of other information like about the project itself, then Shield badges helps us with that. The way it works is, so you can go to this website called shields.io. When you go to this website, let me zoom in a little bit. It will ask you to first give a project URL. So if I go to this project, like this is the project 0 on which you're working on, let's make a copy of it. And if you put this here, let's say suggest badges, it is already giving us a bunch of badges here, like how many issues are open in this project, how many times this was forked, like how many people have started, if I provided license or not. If you also want to add your Twitter information, you can do that. So let's just add these badges like for now. So I'm going to copy all of this in Notepad and I'm going to clean this up. So remove all these things in the front of URLs and then I will make a copy of this, Control C, go back to our readme file. And the place where I like to add the badges is immediately after the description of the project. So come here, enter all these URLs. At this moment, you see it's not giving us the kind of information that we need. And it's because it's just URL. And if you do Alt Shift Insert, now let's do a column edit. I'm selecting all the columns. Let's put not give this brackets, give a open bracket, press the end key, press closing bracket, and now you can see all these patches are already made available to us, right? Let's go and look at some more interesting stuff in badges. And maybe before that, I can just come out of this mode. So again, Alt Shift Insert. So I'm come back to the normal mode. Let's go back. Windows 1. And if you also want to add, let's say, some static information to your project, you can also do that. So let's say if I want to add with love from, love from, and if I say power tester, you can choose a color that you want to add. Let's say bright green. Click on the badge, and you will get this URL. And if I copy this URL, go back to the project. Let's add this one as well here, bracket. And now it's also adding some static information to our project, right? So pretty handy if you want to add stuff like this. What else? Like Rather than trying to create a badge from here, you can also create a badge by just taking this URL and let's say going here, and you can say label, let's say um, yeah, maybe the same thing, with love, message from power tester, but this time you can add a color which you want to add. If you give this, you get a badge, right? And if you copy this, the same thing, and enter brackets, oops, enter brackets, control V, and you can add the badge with a different color, right? Let's go back. What else? It says if you want, you can also pass the like different styles to the badges. So for example, if you copy this thing and if you go back, if you maybe want to change the style of this badge, you can do so. Come here, control V, and now the badge style is changed. Let's go back. Okay, what else? And there are a lot of options which are present over here, but well, I would let you explore this, in your own sweet time. Another interesting thing that you can find, which is not like coming over here, is if you go back to the website, let's just do a refresh. You have many options which are provided to you by many of the CI providers. So for example, if you want to see what was the last status of your build and depending on like which CI provider you're using, Airfire, Azure, Bitbucket, Bitrise, Circle CI, etc. We are interested in GitHub. So for example, for GitHub workflow status, let's click on this. So if I give Pramod Kumar Yadav, repository is 0, and the workflow is, if I go to actions, so the workflow name is not the name of the file, but the name of the workflow which is mentioned here. In this case, like both the file name and the workflow name are same, but in some cases it might also be different. So always pick this name and not the name of the file, right? So copy this, let's go back. And if I put it here, you get a badge. Another interesting thing is like you can change the style, like you can make it like plastic, flat square, you can make it for the badge, you can make it social, like depending on what you want. I like the flat one. You can also change the label names. For example, it's build, but let's say if you want to call it not build, but build info, you can do that, right? Or like build status, you can do that. But for me, I think build is good enough, so I will just let it be. If you want to change the color from green to something else, let's say if you want to make it blue, you can do that. If you want to make it red, you can do that. And like you can see all the choices of colors from what you saw here, right? So you can pick the color of your choice. But for us, let's keep it default. Named logo. So I think this is for depending on which kind of CI provider you're using. So for example, in our case, we're using GitHub. So if you also want to keep a logo here, you can do that. Let's see if this works. Yep, this also works. So this I could keep it. I think it's nice. Now override logo color. I think it's at this moment white, but let's see if you want to make it blue or red or green or like whatever you want. I think for me, I'll just keep it like this. And now if I copy this badge, let's go back and add this one as well. I think tweet is more of a meta information. So if I come here, I would rather let static information a little bit down and dynamic information more here, because this information is going to change, right? Like how many issues are open, folks, stars, build. And in fact, build is a very important information. So I think I would actually like to keep it at the top. So that's something else. So I think this is it, folks. Like it gives you a good idea of like, what you can do, what you cannot. I think if you're also using some other service providers, like depending on if you're using Azure DevOps or, GitLab or SonarCube. You can also get coverage for your project. I think this is something which we will try to cover in our future videos. You can also get test results depending on which CI provider you're using, like Sonar Test, Azure DevOps, and I think it's for testers. It could be good meta information to know, like which test passed, how many tests are there, how many are not there. Unfortunately, I don't see that for GitHub, so that's a bummer. But like you get the idea. There's a lot of stuff that you can get by just looking into all these options, right? So let's say if you want to add something else, GitHub search hit counter, GitHub top language, search hit counter, yeah. So I think if I keep this, at this moment we'll get 1 because, well, that's what we have. Because we're working with Java only, right? Like if you want, you can add this. But I would not extend this video any further. I just want to finish this video by one closing remark, and that is that Shields IO only work for public projects, and because it's a public project, we are able to add these badges. So Shields need access to your project, and if it's a private project, it cannot get access to it. So that's one thing that you should be aware of. I remember reading about it long back that there are ways that you can install the whole Shield thing on your own servers, but that would be out of scope of this video. Right, so let's go back and let's add this one too, and I think we are good for this video. In the next video, as I said, I would like to cover how the configuration works, but well, I hope I can make that video sooner than I made this video, but I look forward to see you guys again in my next video. Have a good day or night, like whatever the time is for you, and I'll see you in another video. Cheers. Bye-bye.